Alhamdulillah, I try to shorten the qira'ah so that we actually get to explain what we recited in the salah. If someone, generally speaking, if it's too much to have a short class every day, if someone needs to leave, it's not an obligation to stay. But sometimes when we stop for weeks. So it's best to continue even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I looked yesterday at the time, we took about 7 to 10 minutes. So Surat Al-Moominoon, this is what we recited, the first page in Surat Al-Moominoon, meaning the believers. This surah is Makki surah, revealed in Mecca. Allah says the believers have succeeded. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, because Allah has already decreed who gets to go to heaven and who gets to go to hellfire. And in Allah's knowledge, every believer who has established the right belief in Allah and implemented the obligations of this belief, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed that he has succeeded. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. So the question is, who will continue to be a believer and die as a believer, right? That is our challenge. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Talk about their attributes and what they do. And the first thing, immediately talk about the salah, because that's the most important act of worship after tawheed, after believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after becoming a mu'min. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. The first thing you will be asked about is your salah. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, استقيموا ولن تحصوا وعلموا أن أفضل أعمالكم الصلاة. He says, استقيموا means be straight or follow Allah's guidance without any deviation. استقيموا ولن تحصوا, meaning ولن تحصوا means you will not be perfect. ولن تحصوا. You can try, do as much as you can, but you know that you are not going to be perfect. Why is he saying that? I think for two main reasons. If you look at it, first of all, so that if you fail in some points, you don't feel that you're a hopeless case. You feel that there's still hope. Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that you will not be perfect. You will still make mistakes. And also, وَلَن تُحْصُوا, to indicate to you that you shouldn't be proud of yourself. Because you will never actually establish the perfection in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can do whatever you want and worship Allah as much as you can, but know that وَلَن تُحْصُوا, you will not be perfect. استقيموا وَلَن تُحْصُوا. And know that the best of your actions is as-salah. Know that the best of your actions, acts of worship, is as-salah. Prophet Muhammad was also asked, أَيُّ الْعَمَلِ أَفْضَلُ, what is the best action? He says, as-salatu ala waqtiha, prayer on its time. And in some narrations, as-salatu ala awwali waqtiha, prayer on the beginning of its time. So it's even better to do it at the beginning of its time. And he said to him, after that comes what? He says, بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. And then he was asked, and after that, قال الجهاد في سبيل الله. بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ means to be kind to your parents, to do your duties towards your parents. And then the third one, he says, when they ask him, what is the third thing? He said, الجهاد في سبيل الله. Jihad is a great action, but it comes still after the salah and after birr al-walidain. And the salah and birr al-walidain is fard ayn. It is an obligation on each individual. But it is not an obligation on each individual to do jihad. Jihad is fard kifaya in general. The general ruling, fard kifaya, means part of the ummah has to do jihad. But not every person in the ummah has to do jihad unless the ummah is attacked. Then, if it's not sufficient for those people of that locality, then it spreads in circles to the people who are neighboring to them, to the people neighboring to them, until it even involves all Muslims in the world. Yes, until it involves all Muslims in the world, like it is right now. But does jihad only means jihad with weapon? No, it doesn't only mean that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, "Jahidul mushrikina bi amwalikum wa anfusikum wa alsinatikum." Make jihad against the disbelievers, the mushrikeen, with your money, with yourself, and with your tongue, with your speech, to talk about Islam and to spread Islam and to show their evil. That is also part of the jihad, to support the Muslims and motivate Muslims to help them. That وَفَقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا تُكَلَّفْ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ وَحَرِّضِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. You fight في سبيل الله. Allah commanded Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to fight in his sake. فَقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا تُكَلَّفْ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ. You're only responsible for your own self. Why is that? Because we all wait and say, oh, our governments are not doing anything, our governments are not doing anything. So what are we doing as individuals? يعني فقاتل في سبيل الله لا تكلف نفسك. You're only responsible about your own self. Allah won't ask you about what your government did and what your president did. Allah will ask you about what you did as an individual. And then he says وحرض المؤمنين, and motivate the believers to do the same. Motivate the believers to do the same. So الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون, خشوع in salah. So that is the first action, and it has to be خشوع in salah. Then الذين هم عن اللغو معرضون, and those who avoid لغو. لغو means anything that is useless. لغو doesn't mean haram. لغو means anything that is useless. That is a very high level. Because even haram would not able to abstain from all the haram. Imagine someone who is so righteous that anything that wastes his time and does not benefit him in dunya or akhirah, he's away from that. That is called laghu. So those believers, those high believers are stay away from even laghu. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. They perform zakah. This ayah was revealed in Mecca. The zakah, maqadir zakah, the portions of zakah, percentages and all this was revealed in Medina. But zakah was made obligation still in Mecca. And that is an example to show that وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ, or zakah, the other meaning of zakah means purification of the soul. Zakah means to purify the soul. One of their duties that they perform is they purify their soul from everything that is against their belief. So they purify their soul from reliance on human beings, purify their soul from fear from human beings, from loving anything else more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, purify their soul from envy, from all these from evil towards believers, feeling bad towards other people. These are all things that happen in our hearts and need purification. And then they control their private parts except from their wives and their milk yamin, right hand possession. فإنهم غير ملومين. He says أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين. Meaning that they are not to blame regarding their wives and their right hand possession. This ayah also indicates, just like you are to blame if you do something like this outside of these two allowed things, meaning the wives and right hand possession, you are not to blame if you, for instance, have more than one wife, because Allah says إلا على أزواجهم, their wives in plural. And so this is the problem now. If someone has more than one wife, it's as if he committed zina. Actually worse. His wife might say to him, I don't care if you commit zina, but if you marry another one, I won't let it pass, right? Subhanallah. So فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. Inshallah we'll stop here just because of the time. This speech we can't give in Ramadan because the wives are downstairs.
You said that the salat has to be right in time, so but if I was not